Peace, folks. This is X from TPOT Media. Open your mind and wake your black ass up. You know what time it is. Hit that damn like button as you make your way in the door. Grab a seat, settle in, get ready. It's the Grown Man Hour with your host, my man, Bernard Riley.
All right, what's up? What's going on, everybody? Welcome everybody to the show. Shout out to everybody in the building. Appreciate each and every one of you. Shout out to those of you that made it in early. You already know what to do. Hit the like button, whether you're catching it live or you're catching it after it's uploaded. Do appreciate each and every one of you. Eat Capone in the building came through, dropped a super chat on it. Do appreciate that. Shout out to Deacon Dave. Do appreciate you coming through. Shout out to Vince Lindsay, one of the Patreons. I got something to upload for the Patreons that will be coming down the pipeline real soon. Shout out to Reinhardt, said Bernard been using the wave brush, not just Waters, Murray's grease, and a do-rag. That's it. You don't even matter what kind of brush. It's Waters, Murray's grease, and a do-rag. That's all it takes. Nice and easy. But no, we about to get into this thing. As y'all can see, we are joined by Sub-Zero. You can drop the music in the back. We're about to get right into it. Joined by Sub-Zero. What's going on?
Hey man, what's going on with you, brother? Glad to be back.
Another day. Absolutely. What's been going on? We've been doing these shows, and you've been talking a lot about the Lifting the Veil Academy.
I'm gonna say this, man. It has really been a blessing this year. Just literally a few minutes ago, I had a student land $70 an hour. We growing, man. We rolling. They're gonna be paying him every Friday. That's $2,800. And the skill set he has is the skill set that we starting on Monday night. So this is a blessing. I've really been, I guess, blessed to really be able to see people's lives change. Me and this brother, the brother that I'm talking about, we're actually kind of like friends too. So he'd be on my YouTube channel all the time. Real cool brother. But he's one of the guys that he said, "Hey man, you help me out, OG." They call you OG once you get past 35, But he helped me out, man, and I help him out, so to speak. And I just enjoy giving back, man, and seeing that, one thing people don't realize is when you're in a position of mentorship, it is fulfilling for the mentor. That's why a lot of times you see people go to score.org when they get older. And they mentor people, which if you're not familiar with score.org, that's where you go to learn from people that have been professionals for umpteen years and now they're retired.
Mm-hmm.
And they were CEOs of different companies and chief information officer, and they can sit there and they'll sit there and look you in your face and tell you what you need to know. And you can request meetings with these people. And so that's that. And I took that a while ago when I was trying to get into real estate, and it helped. But I learned, man, Black people don't have nobody like that to help them in IT. We don't have people, because look, you can always go to a company and they'll train you and give you a skill, but will they help you as to why you didn't get a job? What did you say wrong in the interview? Will they sit there and tell you what you did wrong? And so that's what we do. That's what we specialize in, just trying to help people and put people in a different, position economically, specifically, mostly Black men. That's who we teach. We'll teach anybody, obviously, but mostly Black men. That's who we help. And, me being one myself, I have a very particular brand of, advice that I give specifically for Black men in this space that want to become developers, and what you need to do and how you need to do it.
Yeah, no, that's definitely good stuff there. You you mentioned that it's no help there in terms of, when somebody, they go through the courses, they get some certification, there's nobody there like that's Black, particularly helping Black people, or specifically Black men, along the way with the coaching on as to, why you didn't get this job, why what went wrong here, because the narrative is that well, is the system, and you get out there, and the people of other demographics or races or whatever own these companies and their biases, or they exercise their own nepotism. But it sounds like you're speaking more to it, that even if, okay, that may be a part of it, but there are other I's that we could dot and T's that we can cross, where you're helping and sticking with them every step of the way.
I'm gonna tell you something. I've been doing this for this is coming up on the 6th year. I'm gonna tell you like this. This is not, the industry of IT is not about race. It's just not. And I'm not trying to say this to be funny, but we literally have companies where people come to work and they don't wear deodorant. And I'm not trying to be, this is a cultural thing, right? For certain cultures, right? In India, some people don't wear deodorant. Well, when they come to work and they don't wear deodorant, culturally, who do you think the American company would rather work with? Someone that really speaks their language, that understands their culture. Even though we may be Black, we have a lot more in common with them than somebody way from India who,
who musty.
that doesn't wear deodorant, or they may smell like curry. Or we don't have the same culture. And it's not knocking that. I'm not saying that that's just culture. I'm not trying to disparage anybody from India. What I'm saying is, ultimately, we don't have the downside that you may get from now. They have the expertise, but even in that, one of the things people fail to realize with the expertise is they have people doing, this is what they do in India. What I do is what you have in India. You have companies that do everything I do in India, not exactly like they're not as nurturing as I am, but they do give you the training, and then they tell you how to set your resume up. They tell you everything except the pieces that might make the difference that we do, as far as telling you how to, we'll listen to the interview. Now, they don't do that. I hadn't seen anybody ever do that. We're the only people that, we don't do, nobody does that but us. We'll sit there with you, play your interview with you, and be like, bro, you ain't getting this one. You messed up. You shouldn't have said this. Next time, say this. That's how you win, Black people. Because now, and that's mentorship. Because that's how you win. You win by being told why you didn't get the job. You don't, and they say, oh, well, we're just going to go with the more senior level person. Okay. But why? What did I say in that interview that made you think I was more junior? Well, when they asked you about this, you said this. But see, I know that. So when I listen to it, I'm going to tell you, oh, you shouldn't have said that. Why? And I'm saying, because if you say that, then they're going to think you mean this. They're looking for you, and I explain it like, oh, that's something you will not get, but through trial and error. That's all it is. Trial and error. It's just going out, seeing what it is that works, falling on your face, dusting yourself up, getting up. You can avoid that. those pitfalls. That's what mentorship is. I remember Tupac said, I was a young brother asking questions. You know, you want to ask questions. You want to know what works and what doesn't, you know. And mentorship is important.
Yeah. No, that's interesting. I haven't heard too many people take it from that route. They normally just look at it as just learning the skills. How long would you say after somebody finished the course, you know, they passed the test, they got their certification, they got their certs, how long are you technically on average? Because, you know, everybody's probably different. Some people, you know, there's going to be somebody who's going to ace their first interview, get a job, and, you know, y'all probably just talk briefly to say hi here and there. But typically, on average, how long are you working with somebody after the fact, after they get the
typically when you are all done with interviewing with me, which is going to be harder, I try to make it harder. Typically, when you interview with me, we're going to have a turnaround of about, on average, about 2 months. Usually, that's if you're going out there looking. If you're looking and you're applying and you're following directions, it only take you about 2 months. That's because you have a learning curve, because you're new. Usually, a senior level developer get a job in about a month. You can, because the thing is, me, I've made it easy for myself. I don't necessarily have, like, people that have been working for X amount of years. My rate is $130 an hour. I don't do that. I'll take that $60. I'll take that $50. I'll work that job for about 3-4 months, and then I'll get another one, and I'll have 2. And then last year I had 3 for a couple of months. You know, it got kind of hectic, and I dropped one of them. But still, I went back to 2. I was getting paid X amount. I was getting paid a lot of money when I was getting them 3 jobs. I was rolling. You know what I'm saying? We talking about bringing home like $30,000. That's what I was doing every month.
Damn.
You know, every month. I remember I was working for $29,500 as a produce manager. I was making that a month. You know, then I fell back down to just 2 jobs. But even still, 2 jobs, I'm rolling. I'm still rolling. I'm still doing well. I'm still comfortable. My wife was able to quit her job. My son's in private school. I talk about that all the time. I got a comfortable lifestyle. In the morning, I roll over, grab a laptop, wipe my eyes out. I'm still in the bed, man. I ain't even get out the bed. And I'm at work. I just open up, log in, and I'm there. Then I roll over, grab the other laptop, log into that one. I'm at work on that one. If I have meetings and they're simultaneous meetings, I plug up headphones in each one, and that way I can know who's talking to me in which meeting, and it won't be overheard by the other. Look, I work it, man. I've been doing this for years. Hadn't had no problems. You just got to know what you're doing. Obviously, I don't advise that for all my students. The first job you get, I tell you, at least work it for 6 months to, you know, however long it takes until you understand the actual knowledge piece of it. Because if you don't understand the business logic within that organization, then you won't be able to really effectively function. You know, and that's just how it works.
Shout out to Azrael. He's saying, remember, we have class tonight.
I got you, bro. I got you, Azrael. We got a final class for data analytics. He's at the last class. We're going to start over Monday, but that's what we're doing. And let me explain something. Data analytics is my easiest class. It is by far the easiest class. It is the class that most of my students have gotten jobs in. This is the easiest way to get in IT. I don't care what anybody says. This is no certification. You don't need certifications. You don't have to worry about, what if I fail the test? None of that. All you got to do is pass my interview, which is going to be hard, but I'm going to give you the answers, and I'm going to tell you why you failed. And eventually, like, if you go take a certification test, you fail. A lot of times they don't even tell you why. They just give you the region. Oh, you need to go to this chapter. Like, yeah, but what in that chapter did I miss? They won't tell you. You know what I'm saying? So then you go back, you fail it again because you missed something out of another chapter. And I've seen that. And so what we try to do is we just give you an interview all in all. And if you're competent, by the way, I give you the interview questions that these organizations are using, so that 9 times out of 10, when you go to the interview, it's going to be easier. And then you can ask my students this. when you go to interview, 9 times out of 10, it's going to be easier than it is when I do an interview than when you do it with me. I do that on purpose. I don't want you coming in my interview thinking it's sweet, and then you go out there and they hand you your behind, which still can happen.
Mm-hmm.
It still can happen because I can't cover every crack, and they may get through another crack. You say something about performance tuning, and performance tuning can get real deep. Next thing you know, they diving into that, and you don't get the job. But guess what? We got it recorded.
Mm-hmm.
So the next time you go to interview and somebody dives into performance tuning and they think they're getting deep, you're ready. And so you know the answer. So you can say, you can, and it still can get even deeper than that. But if the deeper you go, the more impressed they are. And so at first it may be just surface stuff, and that usually impresses a lot of people if they just want the basics to get a job. But sometimes you may run into that smart aleck, because IT is full of A-type personalities, people that have been working since they were 22 years old, fresh out of college. So these people are, if you meet somebody 33, 34, they 12 years in, they're going to look at you like, oh man, you don't know that? What's wrong with you? Like that's how they are. They haven't had to come from driving trucks or working at a factory folding boxes or they just haven't had to work with that.
Yeah. You had said something with data analytics. You said they only have to pass. You said they only have to pass your interview. What did you mean by that?
When you get done with the process of my class, I have an interview that you do in order to make sure. Okay, boo. I have an interview that you have to do to make sure you're competent before you can go out and look for a job. Because if you come to me and I ask you to tell me about the different joins within SQL and you can't do that, you're not a developer. And they'll know it. And they will escort you out like, okay, this guy didn't even know what the joins were. Like, where did he come from? And this is how they operate. Mm-hmm. So certain things you got to know. There are certain, I guess, bullet points that you have to be able to hit to even look for a job. If you can't hit those, you're fooling yourself. I'll give you the interview questions, and guess what? Even with the interview questions, I'm talking about I could give you the interview questions today, Bernard, and you can ask Azriel. I'm sure he's in the comments. Let me see. I can't see the comments, but if Azriel, if you look and ask him when we play the interviews, are those interviews that he listens to the exact same questions that he already was given in class? He'll say, yeah. I played an interview last week or 2 weeks ago, and about 3-4 people. Man, I probably would have got that job. They're not even finished with the class yet. But because I taught them, they know now, okay, this is what the companies are looking for. The thing is, now I'm not going to let you pass me until I know that you know how to do it and not just head knowledge. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to ask you, so tell me, how would I do this then? I'm going to ask you a trick. I'm going to try to trip you up. I need to know that you know SQL instead of just have memorized interview questions. And once I know that, you can go out and answer those interview questions, because if they go and scratch the surface, you can hang with them. Mm-hmm. And that's how we found success.
Shout out to Reinhardt. Is this one of your students here? Reinhardt?
I don't know.
I probably. Well, no, he was. I was just making an assumption because he was. You were saying something. He was co-signing it heavy. So
I might. Hey, if it is, I apologize, man.
It could have been. No, you kind of just said something general about just the whole IT industry. So he probably just.
I think one thing about us as African Americans, man, we coming from a lot of blue collar backgrounds. A lot of us, we aren't out here. We weren't raised in a corporate environment where dad went to work with a briefcase. So a lot of us are just getting started. So you got a learning curve. And that learning curve can be, it can be costly as far as, time spent losing jobs or getting let go, or we don't want that. And so I want you to skip past all that and jump to where I was at 5 years, where by 5 years I felt comfortable and I knew what I was doing. Are you going to be, let me say this too, you're not going to be 100% comfortable coming out of the class after 4 months. I don't think that's the objective, because comfort comes with just time. There's nothing Nothing's going to make you comfortable. You'll understand the basics of the constructs of the language. You'll understand how to use data visualization tools such as Power BI, Tableau, SSRS. But comfort to where you walk in there and you're not scared, that's 5 years and 5-6 years of working. I don't care who you are. I don't care what they teach you. Every skill set I've ever seen, somebody will teach you the basics, and then you go to work and it's more difficult. But the thing is about IT that I love is that, yeah, you're running the problems, but now you got Chat GPT, which is a straight cheat code every time, right? You have MSDN forums. I told my students about that last night. That's one of my secret weapons. You got all these people over in India. If you go in there and you got a problem in SQL, they'll tell you the answer in about like 10 minutes. You put the question in there, refresh your page. Somebody has the answer. In 10 minutes. It has gotten me through. When I first got started, that was my secret weapon. Going to MSDN when I ran into a snag. And next thing you know, I started memorizing the answers. I know the answers now. So now I just do it without having to look stuff up. I know if I run into this is what you do. If you run into this situation, this is the construct that you would use. If you run into this situation, you would use this construct, right? And so you start having more so like a toolbox of different skill sets that you can apply. And this just comes with trial and error. Now, I give you certain questions that if they ask you on the interview, questions that trip me up and stop me from getting the job, I remember about 4 or 5 of them. I give them to you. So now if somebody asks you that question, you knock it out the park. In fact, I've had maybe 2 or 3 students get jobs and they ask them this recursive CTE question. And man, they said they would use a recursive CTE. And man, I said that they went crazy, sub. And they gave me, I'm like, yeah, but that's because I got my ass kicked on the interview some years ago with that same exact question. You know what I'm saying? And this is why we talk about mentorship.
Well, Reinhardt, he does say customer service is the base. You need to learn to deal with people on all levels.
Facts.
Thank you for the super chat. Do appreciate that. How many people would you say that your program, your school has gotten a job so far? I guess this year. You had to say this year.
I mean, this year. I don't know. I really hadn't. Honestly, I hate to say this. It's gonna sound like I don't know. I don't know. I'm not even trying to be funny. Like somebody's got a job today. It's been a lot of times when people get jobs, and so I don't really know what to really say. But if I had to guess, right now we just getting finished. Well, see, this is the thing. This class started. If you're talking about this year.
Well, in the last year total.
In the last year? Okay. In the last year, because I was finna say the first class is ending tonight. So technically, that number's kind of low. You know what I'm saying? But if you say within the last year, I don't know. But I say about 8, 9, something like that. I don't know. I really can't tell you. Because the classes are just getting done. The Salesforce class, people are going on interviews now for those. From the last class, that's a new thing we're trying to tweak and make sure that that's successful. But the data analytics, that runs like a sewing machine. So most people, if they finish the course, the thing is a lot of people quit. So when you say successful, a lot of people just quit, man. A lot of people don't finish, and the reason they don't finish is life, and things happen, and they're just not able to get the time in that they need to really, be successful. And so they fall behind, and guys, you're gonna fall behind. Everybody does. You fall behind, but that doesn't mean quit, right? So if we come to class every day and I'm giving you new information, some people, specifically us as African Americans, we get frustrated. Man, I'm a month behind. I'm like, you're supposed to be. I'm giving you something new every class, and you not. If I tell you, hey, you need to understand, how to be a neurosurgeon, then the next day I try to teach you how to be a heart doctor. Then the next day I try to teach you how to be a liver oncologist or something. Then there's a learning curve for each one of those that's going to take time and it's going to slow you down. Okay, how smart you are. And I've had some people that are brilliant that quit, and they quit because they don't finish. You know what I'm saying? But I want you guys to understand, those students that finish, the numbers drop down significantly. But when they drop, those people that finish and do what I tell them and follow directions, those people are the people that really tend to hit their target. And I would say, if you're following directions, the numbers are way up. If you follow of those students that follow directions and get done, the success percentage, I would say, is way up there, probably in the 90s. If I had to tell, but those people tend to be the people that go through the class, follow instructions, which usually what I always tell you is study for an hour to 2 hours a day. I tell you to make sure that when you get done, that you record your interviews. Just those two things alone, when you get done, I tell you how to study. I tell you, if you're learning how to do, like, for example, if we go over ETL packages, I tell you how to learn how to be competent, which is reciting it aloud. If you do everything I tell you, like everything we say in class, do it. If we give you homework, do it. Because that's going to force you to code. You're going to have to code because I gave you homework. You're going to have to, if I tell you, hey, go build a SSRS report, you're going to have to do it because I told you. But if you just sitting there watching me lecture, you get what I'm saying? So that cuts down my percentage because that person technically didn't follow directions. And so that's why the number is a lot more difficult, because there's a lot of moving pieces that you as a student have to complete. And so you ain't gonna say a lot. You really just, all you got to do is show up, study an hour to 2, 5 days a week, and follow directions at the end and go. And, obviously I'll tell you something like, hey, go study this in your spare time. Like I might give you something on isolation levels. I might give you an article. You might read the article, you don't understand, and you might watch a video on isolation levels, right? And that gives you a better understanding. Then I might talk about performance tuning, or I might talk about data warehousing and fact and dimension tables and star schema versus snowflake schema. When I talk about those things, you need to understand the difference. You need to understand why you would use. Well, that takes time. That takes watching videos. That takes reading books. That takes, different things. So it won't just be, when I say study, just study the exact material. It might be studying something peripherally, because you might understand when I tell you what a case statement is. That's not that difficult. So you don't need to spend 2 hours trying to study a case statement, but you will spend those 2 hours studying other things, other aspects of the course. But those people that follow directions, I ain't gonna say 100%, but it's up there. The people that do everything, most, and I'm not trying to say this to be funny, but you can go back and listen to every interview I do ever in this space, and I say the same thing: follow directions. You can ask any of my students that have taken the class, any class we offer. The first thing I tell you when you come to class: follow directions. If you follow directions, it's hard to fail, because you did what you were supposed to do. It's damn near, I ain't gonna say impossible, but it's just hard for you not to hit your target. Because I done it, man, 50 times. I done it, man. I done had all types of jobs. And I get jobs even if I suck on the interview. I've landed jobs. I know what to say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You had mentioned earlier in the show that somebody had just got a job. How much did you say this person
was?
$70?
$70 an hour.
$70 an hour. That's a lot. Yep. What was this person doing beforehand? Before he, he was new to IT, right? Or no?
Yeah, no, he had no experience. He didn't even graduate. I don't think he graduated. I had to talk to him. I had to talk to Ant and ask him. But I think he played ball in college. He played like football or something like that. But he never really went and did anything different. But I know he's doing so. I think, let me see if I had to think about it. I think he's doing I don't know. I think he was at a call center. I can't remember. But that's what I think, because I talked to so many people. But I know he was either at a call center or something like that. It wasn't. It was another company where he was working. What was he said he was doing? Like almost like factory shift work. He was doing like a 4-hour shift where you go in. It was manual labor pretty much. It wasn't. He wasn't doing anything like tech, anything. And he came in, took the course, He had a hiatus for a while, but he studied. He was a go-getter. He went and studied SQL on his own, and then he came back to the course, and he's still in there right now. I mean, he's taking all types of stuff. So he's in there now. I don't know if he go to blockchain or I have to talk to him, but he's in there now. So, but he keeps coming to the class. He's just one of my loyal students, and he just been around for a while. But you ain't got to do all that to get a job.
Mm-hmm.
You really don't. You can get a job way easier than that.
Yeah. I was just curious because, well, what's up? Keep it 100. Salute. But I was curious because that 2,800 a week, times 52, that's $145,600 a year for those who was trying to do the math in your head. Like, so what I was thinking, okay, what's the difference in this dude? Because most people, if you start at 75, hell, if you take 4-month course and you get a job, 75,000 a year, you did damn good. That's the damn good place to start. Damn good place to start.
I mean, look, let me tell you what I don't do. I don't guarantee anything. All I'm gonna ask you to do, guys, is just give it a shot, man. It's $297 a month. I mean, if you don't like it, quit. I have people unsubscribe all the time, every day. It's no skin, and that's why I made it affordable, because I didn't want people to feel like, man, this dude got over on me, man. He charged. No, you got pretty much what you paid for. You got more than what you paid for. We try to give you more than what you pay for. That way, it's always like, look, you had access to the class. You got permanent lifetime access to the Facebook group. You got permanent access lifetime to the self-study course, which explains SSIS, SSRS, and SQL. We give you, we install your software. And once you get done with the course, free. We do the free resume. We do the free job interview consultations. We do everything, man. We only charge for really lectures. That's all we really charge. And obviously I have to do that because I got to pay my instructors. Like, I got to pay these people, man. These are professional people that came through my academy. That's what I like and I'm most proud of, is that the people that are training these people are the people that I train. So they can tell you, man, I know it worked because I did the same thing. Like, this last class that was just getting taught was taught by a sister that I taught some years ago, and she's been working now like 5 years. But she taught it pretty much just call me. And what makes me, really proud, I guess, is that these people call me saying, hey, I want to give back. I want to, go in and do things to benefit the community. So, a lot of people call me wanting to help other students.
I know I asked you this before last time you was on, but how much, and do it vary like between what type of class you take and how much the price is, or just
well, yeah, it can okay, so this is how it works. So let's say you want to do just the data analytics. It's $297 a month, right?
Okay.
But let's say you want to jump into the blockchain class while you're taking data analytics. Well, that's called dual enrollment. That for just half off, basically what we do is it's and it's a second option where it's $457. You can take that for 3-4 months, however long you want to take it. If you want to go for like the next 12 months and have access to anything we teach, period, then that would be the full annual experience, which that's like 26 and some change. And the reason I did that was because people kept saying, hey, do you have a yearly membership? People kept asking for it. So I made it now. It's it's dual enrollment, and then it's annual enrollment. And then if you just want to do month to month, one class, $297.
Okay, all right.
And if you go on the website, you'll see that. I can share the screen if you want to look at it.
Okay, yeah, no, we could definitely do that. But okay. Do you want to address this before time this dude out?
Which one?
The one on the screen. Blockchain is a scam. You mentioned blockchain. He said blockchain is a scam.
Yeah, that's comical. Blockchain, let me tell you something. Blockchain is gonna be pretty much everything you see in the future is gonna be that's why they're doing Fed now, bro. Black people usually get left behind because we do think like that. And I'm not trying to knock that person, but we got to stop doing that, because what happens is it puts us in a negative space. You know what I'm saying? Where we're at the effect of others. And because we choose not to, educate ourselves and learn the game like it need to be learned. And you can share this anytime you want to. These people, like right now, that's like saying, okay, it's 1990, the internet is on the way, and black people saying the internet, and I'm not knocking it. I don't know who that was that said that. But
Yeah,
if
I don't know
somebody
who
was
it
to
is
say,
either.
but if somebody was to say, oh, the internet's a scam, like it's laughable now. Like it's like, bro, how do we function without the internet? Like, I don't even watch regular TV anymore. I watch what I want to watch when I want to watch it. I do what I want to do. If I want any information I want, it's at my fingertips. We can't imagine having to go. People can't remember having to go into Britannica, go and look up alphabetically what you're looking for and find it. People can't remember that. That's the difference. Whereas when you're talking about stuff like what else? Blockchain, it's the same thing, man. And in 1990, somebody saying the internet is a scam. It's just like saying today blockchain is a scam. Everybody, if you go look at China, you go look at what's the name of this? Japan. Japan said every bank in Japan is going to switch over to XRP. They're replacing the SWIFT system, which if you've been keeping up with Russia and what's going on with you, that whole system that's getting replaced, they're replacing it with blockchain. Everything is the government wants to track every dime you spend from, if you go get a haircut and you slide the dude $20 on Cashapp, they want to know about it. That type of control. They want, why? Because unfortunately, the government wants to have the ability to turn off people's money whenever they feel like they want to be able to control you. So if I give you money and I say, okay, in 60 days, this money's going to expire. You got to spend it. That way I can always continue to keep you at a certain level financially. You'll never be able to rise up and become wealthy and own assets and do certain things because I got expirable money. This is literally some things that people are entertaining in certain countries, and certain people are talking about it. And that's why you hear at the World Economic Forum, what are they saying? You will own nothing and be happy. So I'm saying, look, if the blockchain is going to be built, and it's going to be built whether whether black people are part of it or not, that is the game that's going to be played. Whether you sitting at the table, where when they divvying up the chips, can you get some? Right? If you had been at the table when you knew Bitcoin, if when Bitcoin was under $1, and you say, look, man, I know Bitcoin's going to be this. Let me go ahead and buy $7,000 worth of Bitcoin 12 years ago or 8 years ago. Where would you be today? Right? You'd be worth probably a billionaire. You know what I'm saying? That's what's going on, man. It's a lot of wealth being created. I'm not saying, and so blockchain, we started that class last month, and shout out to Javon. He's actually going to be speaking on a panel next month. I mean, not next month, next week. I'll be in Washington, D.C. next week. We'll be speaking on a panel at a conference. He will. And he's going to introduce me to the guy that invented blockchain, the founder of the guy that invented XRP, that invented Cardano. We actually, he actually knows these people. He actually worked for the people. He actually worked for Ethereum. And so, yeah, the future's not, even let's be honest, even if they call it a scam, if somebody had said, hey, man, we're going to give you 30 million Dogecoins, which wasn't that much. That probably would have been $100 a while ago. And then Dogecoin shoots up to 70 cents. Now that's $21 million that you actually have at your disposal. So it's a lot of wealth being made, even in this space, even if people call it a scam. So why should black people not be allowed to have fun? Like Reginald Lewis said, why should white guys have all the fun, right?
Yeah.
So it's the same for us.
The Clue Channel says somebody tried to sell them Bitcoin at $12, and I said no. yeah. That's a tough one. But no, you had said it was something that you was trying to show specifically.
Yeah. Let me say this. So this is the website. This, it's nothing real Crazy. Let me just log in right quick. So when you log in, this is for people if they want to sign up. So when you sign up and you log in, you can you have to click. Once you log in, you'll see your information up here. You click access classes and you'll see all the classes we offering. Like this Salesforce is about to be over Saturday. So we're gonna redo Salesforce next month. Data analytics will be going starting again Monday. When you come here, you click data analytics, you come in here, you also click this. This will open up. I'll show you. This will open. Well, you probably don't see it, but at any rate,
I think I can see everything. What are you saying?
I was trying to open up WebEx, but I don't. You probably won't see that on your screen. But anyway, why did I do that? Let me stop it. So I started a WebEx meeting. Anyway, you can also look at your previous videos from your classes right here. You can go to the Facebook group right here. And down here, we have the self-study course. I have an individual quiz right here. So if you do get comfortable with SQL, you want to do the quiz, you come here. And of course, we know I give you the Salesforce, T-SQL classes, Oracle, all the Oracle. That's about 8 months of classes right there. Power BI, I got that. And then we got, so everybody, you get everybody when you sign up, you get access to all this. So just depending on how much you want to learn, you can dig as deep as you want.
Yeah, looks good. Yeah. Let's see where we at. We at 41-minute mark. Yeah, I don't know if you wanted to take some questions from the audience. If somebody got questions they want to ask Sub-Zero questions, he's definitely the man that you want to talk to. Definitely the man you want to talk to. You want any specific details? You said a new class is starting Monday, you said?
Yeah, Monday morning. I'm sorry, not Monday morning. Monday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. All classes are at 8 p.m. Eastern, but technically the actual official schedule is going to be Tuesday and Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern and Saturday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern.
All right. Link is in the chat. Anybody got specific questions? They want to run by Sub-Zero? The link is definitely in the chat. I'm trying to see something else right here. Hold on. Wait me 1 second. All right. Damn it. I lost it. I saw something. Then I lost it. Hold on. He's asking, what's the benefit here versus Pluralsight, LinkedIn Learning,
good.
Other online platforms?
Great question. So first of all, you cannot get live interactive classes where you actually can talk to me and unmute and ask a question live. That's number one. Secondly, we provide opportunities we basically give you your resume. We do that. LinkedIn doesn't do that. If you take a Pluralsight course, do you have a resume? Do you know you have references? So you got to do all that, and then you got to know what to say on the interview. Even if you learn a skill set that you don't know, when you go on the interview, what if they ask you something that is peripheral that you never have experienced? So yeah, you can. To me, Pluralsight and things like that are good once you have a skill set and you've already worked within the industry and you know certain things. But if you're going into a new skill set, even if you have one, like let's say I'm a cybersecurity guy and I'm trying to go into blockchain, some of that may help, but there's still certain things you need to know within that space. There's certain, what I'm saying, when it comes to database development and database administration, and there's different skill sets for everything that we do. And so you need to be able to know how to talk to that, speak to that. If I say, okay, tell me about your last project, what snags did you run into, or what type of reports have you developed? That's not going to be, you're not going to get that through some Pluralsight course. You'll just get the actual basics. You won't get, okay, there's also this report, you can do this. And sometimes I'll tell you that, man, I was on a project one time and this happened. if they ever say this, make sure you say that these are things that experience savvy people can give you that you cannot get from Pluralsight. Go ahead.
So hey, I have a question. I was wanted to know for students, what do you exactly give on your interview questions?
Man, I ain't finna give you that. I'm not gonna give you that, man. So he got an interview. He wanted me to give him the interview questions because he's like, man, what you gonna ask me? I'm like, I'm not gonna tell you. I just want to know if you know what you're talking about. You gonna pass, bro. You're gonna be fine.
I appreciate it. Yeah. Now it's good that I'm on my toes because I was going over the self-study course today, and that's I just want to say I came up here to shout out Sub because I do work in security right now, and when on my downtime I'm literally listening to the self-study courses, right? And then I can go back to the Oracle stuff. I can go back to his classes from last year. I can go, there's literally a playlist that you can go through of all the classes. So if you miss a class, you can always go back to the ones that are recorded. And for a lot of the earlier videos, I timestamped them. So it's kind of like a upbuilding kind of thing. And then plus, I would say one of the key things I think people people want to say, oh, what's the difference between Pluralsight or whatever? This is like almost like what Sub is doing is almost low-key like a black LinkedIn, because people that are his older students, I've connected with them, and I've connected with them and shared like information, and I've also shared like LinkedIn pages, and we're able to cross-reference certain things and give each other information. Plus, I have like my own small study group of like between like 5 to 6 people, and we study like literally I would say 90 minutes a day, right? If not like 4 to 5 times a week. So I think we'll be ready. I even put out a Sub recently, I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago, when you put up one of your previous students. They literally asked him about 20 questions, and all those 20 questions Sub already coached us on. It's literally in the flashcards. It's like having to play, like Sub is like low key like Bill Belichick. He knows all the hand signals.
I mean, but look, it's funny you brought that up. That's the analogy. I look, man, it's like, what is that, Bounty Gate? What do they call it when they were still in the plan?
Spygate or something?
Yeah,
no,
Spygate. Look, that's what we do. That's how we get down. I always tell my students, we don't play fair. It's not about
like that.
You need to get it on your own merit. Damn that. We're gonna give you the answers. We're gonna tell you what they're gonna ask you, and we're gonna make sure you know how to do it so you don't get fired. What's better than that?
Yeah,
that's how we do it.
And, it's funny. I was going through the files and I was looking at, because I just got a new laptop earlier last week, and I'm downloading actually the SQL Server 2019 right now. But I was looking to see if I needed to download like a VentureWorks database and whatnot. And I scroll down and I see one of the posts that you put up about how sometimes the Indians come over and they have fake degrees, but it's literally like a pipeline of them setting up situations where they literally, I mean, you might say, okay, it's unethical, but with their people, they're making sure that they do everything in their power for their own people that look like them to succeed. So you know what I mean?
That's it, man. That's what black people are up against when you're trying to enter this industry. You're up against people that literally can go and pay $700 and walk out with a bachelor's degree in a couple of certifications. And then they'll have somebody else take the certification test. They got all types of crazy gadgets and things that they make. Then guess what? They come over here and they fake it till they make it. My brother told me he was on a project and a guy couldn't even connect to the database one time. This guy was getting like 60. Say he lasted for 2 weeks. Still,
that's crazy.
I'm like, that's theft. Basically, he walked out of there with what? I don't know how much he was making, but it was if he's working with my brother, he's making some real money. So he probably walked out of there with, what, $8,000? Said something crazy like that for 2 weeks. Not to say that's everybody's gonna get $100 an hour, but like I said, man, look, we want to get as close as we can to success and doing what's right for you guys. What's right is just doing the groundwork that needs to be done to put you in the position to win.
I would say this. I would say with Sub's class, it taught me, and it's interesting. It taught me how to work better with black people. I'm not gonna lie.
You had difficulty. You had difficulty doing that, huh?
I mean, I wasn't. I'm not. I don't have the proclivity to do so. Like if I'm a solo dolo kind of person. Like if I can get stuff done by myself, I'll do it. But if you want to be efficient and high achieving at this, like I said, I have a group of people that help me. Like for example, I'm good at definitions, and two particular people that study with me like 90 minutes a day, they're really good at coding or they're really good at quizzes, right? But like with me, the people say, "Oh yeah, I'm really good with knowing like definitions. Like I could tell you definition of this, that, and the third." But they're good with the technical part of coding and getting the exact like statements right in the database. So it's like they kind of sharpen where I'm weak at, and I do the same with them. And it's like, you know how visually when you're trying to get over a wall and you guys put your hands together, you try to lift another person up, another person pulls you over. It's a similar concept. We're all taking our like little strengths and we're putting it together, and it's making I can see to myself, it's making me more well-rounded, and it's pushing me to work on my weaknesses and whatnot.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Soul T-Balls in the building. Shout out to you, and check your email. I did see your email, and I responded to it. So definitely check that email. But Soul T-Ball says, Artis Mysterium 2 and 3. Thine journeyman bestows upon the mysteries of the trade craft to thine apprentices and artisans, so that they are powerful. This brotherhood is an honorable one, as these men will become the merchants of guild. I had to look up guild. I wasn't 100% sure what that was. You got to have
he went back to medieval times with that.
Yeah, that's literally what it says. It says a medieval association of craftsmen.
I said the right word. That's exactly what it is.
Yep, a medieval association of craftsmen or merchants, often having considerable power, an association of people for mutual aid or pursuit of a common goal. Man, Salty Balls is just that man is a wordsmith.
I like that word. I like the fact to use that word, because that's basically when I hear the word guild, I remember they talked about, what is it, mercantilism, in that form of government where people tend to, like, say all the blacksmiths would get together and they say, hey man, this is what we're going to do. We're going to do this, and this. Everybody sticks together. And so that's what I try to do with my students. I try to get them, I tell them, hey guys, y'all need to help each other. Y'all need to be calling each other. Y'all need to be dealing with each other so that you guys can help each other, instead of just focusing on one way, just, trying to do things from a certain perspective. Because it's hard, man. It's hard enough for us as African Americans. So
I want to say this too.
Put them in your mouth. Put them in your mouth and suck them and suck them.
Shout out to Salty Balls. And shout out to Black Man being brutally honest. Keep fighting that good fight. I want to also hold on real quick. Gotta take time for another good joke. The Clue Channel says, "Better Call Saul T Balls." Okay, if you know the show, Better Call Saul, you get the joke. But anyway, go ahead, Azrael.
I wanted to say this too. I've noticed, because last year what happened with me is I was in the middle of the class and I was lagging behind. I was one of those students, and then what put the nail in the coffin for me was a COVID and whatnot, right? I contracted COVID, and I was out for the count, and then it was between that and like focusing on school at the time, right? So I came back this time. I know, like, my goal is to have a job. My birthday's in July. My goal is to have a job before my birthday, and I know I can get it. What I realized, since I took it, this is my second time around taking the class, the biggest thing that's going to make or break you is your mental discipline to study. And let's say something happened in life, because things happen in life. You could miss 2 weeks, you could get tired, you can miss out on some things, you might have some family issues you got to take care of. Let's say you're 2 weeks behind. So in 2 weeks, Sub could be focusing on, okay, he's going over joins, and then the next week he's going over aggregate functions. What people might look at that, they get back in the class, and just looking at it alone, they might get intimidated, and it will scare them off and thinking like, damn, like I'm so far behind. It's that mentality of like they think, oh wow, I'm just so far behind. I don't know if I could ever catch up, and they have this feeling of being overwhelmed. But the key is to just keep going, and
yeah, I
you
get
know,
that
eventually,
call. I get that call every class usually about the second month.
yeah,
Sub, I'm still stuck on SQL, man. I think I'm gonna just go ahead and bow out and I'll come back. And I get that call, and I've used to try to talk people out of it, but I've just become desensitized almost to the point where it's like, all right, well, hey, come back when you're ready, and it's not on some, trying to be funny. It's just people just life, man. And I get it. I'm not even gonna trip. I mean, life happens, people wind up getting sidetracked and other things come up, other pursuits. I get it. But if you want to really be successful, focus is the key to success in life. I don't care. You can suck. It doesn't matter. That's what I tell people. People call me, I don't have any, I'm like, I don't care. I don't have any experience. I don't care. You can suck. It just don't quit. Keep doing it. You can not be the brightest person, out there, but if you're consistent and you don't quit, then it's hard to stop a person like that. That person's going to be resilient. They're going to find a way to get where they want to go. And I'm one of them, man. Listen, I'll tell you in a million years, I'm not the sharpest crayon in the box when it comes to IT. I'm not. And a lot of times I tell my students they wind up being better than me. And it's not a big deal to me because I don't care. I don't need to be the smartest guy in the room and brag on my education and what. No, I don't care. I really can care less. My thing is about quality of life. Do I have a quality lifestyle? Am I happy? Am I doing what I want to do? And guys, that's what this course offers is freedom financially, because if you got the tax returns, you can always go and jump in any skill set you want to. If it's, or not just skill set, like real estate or whatever, you need tax returns and you need down payment money. I can lay my hands on $40,000-$50,000 quick. You know what I'm saying? 5 months, I'm talking about cold turkey from zero. 5-6 months. And that's with me still spending, another 10 or 15 a month. I still be able to get, come up with that money. That's power, man. That's freedom. And specifically for Black men, if you want to live remote in another country and be a passport bro, you need to have a skill set that affords you the ability to do that.
Yeah, no doubt. Azrael, just got to ask you a question. You had said something earlier where you was talking like you was already in the industry before you started taking the classes, or you just like getting additional training, or like what is that?
I wasn't in the industry. I
okay.
mean,
I must have misunderstood.
No. I took the class. I took the class last year, and I was pretty much. I could have. Let me tell you something, and Sub can attest to this. It was around last year. I had the cards laminated. I remember I showed Sub as soon as I took the flashcards that Sub had, that he gives us, to study and whatnot for interviews and whatnot. And I went, printed them out, laminated them, and I used to study every day. I had them in a binder, and I used to carry them to work with me every day. So I knew most of the answers. I wasn't the greatest coder, but I knew most of the answers and whatnot. Like you could tell me, okay, what's a join? What's this? What's that? I knew it all. But what happened is I was kind of behind in the class, and I had, like I said, I had contracted COVID. And it was between that, like I said, with life, I was also in school, right? So like I was like, you know what? I'll come back again for the one in January. I'll just bide my time. But I said to myself, I'm not gonna allow myself, for the summer to pass and I not get a job, because I'm already trying to move out of New York anyway. And I, like Sub said, I want to be able to, I can have a deposit. I could just drop down money somewhere. Because I'm leaving New York, trying to go all the way to West Coast. So it's going to be even more expensive.
No, you're doing it wrong. I was about to say, get out of New York. So you get this IT job, you're making that good money. Go somewhere, because the IT could travel with you. Go somewhere where you don't got to pay $3,000 a month for a 1-bedroom.
But see, that's the thing. That's what I prefer. And it was funny. I was talking to Trey about this. Like I'm a city dude. So I'm a city boy. I'm born and raised city person all my life. Like I want to be able to afford to be in. I know, like a 2-bedroom for $3,000. Like this class, if I get a database, like I've seen classes, I've seen jobs they're offering people $50 to $62. And I was showing my friends in the class, I'm like, yo, like, we know most of the stuff they asking for in a job description, like, we can get this job, right? You're coming home making between your net pay is going to be anywhere between 1,800 even to $2,000 a week. That's, I mean, if you could learn this in 4 months, study for another extra month, and make that kind of money, why not go for it?
Yeah, but right now you living in New York. That means you got 3 roommates in a 2-bedroom house and a 2-bedroom apartment. Yeah, y'all grown ass got bunk beds in there, man. I am not messing with New York. I believe in living in a small town, and you could drive to the big city when you want to do big city stuff. I don't got to live there. I ain't paying that much rent. But anyway. Salty Balls back in here. He says, "Scroll." Oh no, one question I do got to ask you, Sub. Out of the people who you say 2 months in, they get kind of behind. They say, hey, they got to quit. They come back later. At least they say they gonna come back later. How many of them do actually come back?
I say about 1 in 4.
All right,
about 1 in 4. I mean, we get every class is gonna have some returning offenders, so to speak, but the thing is that kind of separates the winners from the losers isn't how many. I had some people took the class 3 times. I literally do, but and they didn't finish, and they knew it. It's like, man, life happened. They get out there, they start. It's like, well, I'm gonna go do this. Then they go do something. It falls through. Like, man, I just need a skill set, man. All you tell me, I'm just look. You're gonna have to go to college, get a bachelor's degree, get internships, all that to get where we'll put you. And then even still, you probably have to work 2 or 3 years to even get to that level where you can jump out there and make that kind of money. That's the difference. So we're able to put everybody in the winner's circle. And that's all that matters, man. Getting in the winner's circle so you can make those decisions and not be held up by other people's, hang-ups. You know what I'm saying? What other people, and let me say one thing too before we get off. As far as people with the idea that, IT is racist. They won't let me in because I'm black. Or we always deal with the first week. We always try to deal with mindset and the idea that people are being shut down because of family or because of just ideas. I'm not smart enough. You know what I'm saying? They're going to see that I'm a fraud and I don't belong in corporate America. And so we try to defeat all that. If you don't get that out your head, there's no way in the world you're going to succeed in this course. There's no way. Because you got to get rid of those ideas of, if somebody gets on to you like they did with me when I first got into IT, people would get on to me because I didn't do my damn job, right? And I had to learn how to control my emotions and say, I'm upset, but he's not picking on me. He's right. I didn't have it. I didn't do this. I didn't do that. So it's my fault. And you start accepting responsibility. Like, I talk about those things, and it's not racism. If you show up and give people their reports on time and give them what they ask, these people ain't going, hey, how you doing? They don't care. They can care less. That's how it works.
Mm-hmm. All right. We're gonna go to Dirty Folks in a second. Oh yeah, there it is. I'm trying to find that. Salty Ball is back here with another one. He says, "Scroll of Ethics 2 and 4." He says, "For this hath confined our brethren, there is no meritocracy. I'm sorry, no meritocracy, as thine enemies plot in concert and in darkness, without principles, and we in solitude are confined by ethics. Be thy what is that? Mercenarial. Wow, mercenarial with the goals." Good stuff, man. Your IQ go up reading Salty Ball super chats in here. Easter eggs, robotics, process automation, blue prisms, and what is that? UiPath? I don't know what that is. Y'all can help me out if y'all know it. Inquiring minds can become the architects of automation. Seek this out. But thank you. So yeah, that one was over my head. But shout out to you, Salty Balls. Do appreciate your super chats. Appreciate those.
Suck on my chocolate, salty balls. Put them in your mouth. Put them in your mouth and suck them and suck them.
out to Salty Balls. Shout out to Salty Balls offering all the pearls of wisdom. Number 16 says 5 months of training with no experience. Very unlikely you are getting a job paying 60 or higher. Would you say that was accurate? Or
no, that's not. That's not accurate at all. This is probably somebody that's already in IT. When I first started this company, people told me it's impossible. You can make $60. I get students. Not every student's gonna get $60, but let's say he's right. You get $40. I mean, is that so bad?
That's $80 an hour. I mean that's 80,000 a year.
That's what I'm saying. Let's say you get 90, but I've had students get $60. Yes, not every student. I can't make guarantees, but not every student. But can you go out and apply for a $60 an hour job and be able to go in there and hold your own and be one of the candidates? Yes, you can. But some people do, some people don't. Go ahead.
You know what's the irony about that, Sub? Let me just say this. You know the person that was in the class that was in my first class that I was with that just went on an interview in Chicago, right? It's funny. If you listen to the interview, they asked him, "Oh, what is your required like salary? Where do you want to start off with?" He said between $40 and $45 an hour, right?
Yeah.
You would think, okay, that's decent. The recruiter said, okay, well, we usually have this company usually starts them off at 50, 55.
Yeah.
You know who I'm talking about. So it's like the person and this person started a class with me last
That's
spring.
my reality. That's my reality. That's been my life for years, man. And it's not hard, man. It's so easy. I'm not trying to say it like it's guaranteed, but man, getting $60, man, that's not hard.
Yeah, that's possible. See, in other words, like he had less than a year under his belt. Me and him started at the same time. He had less than a year under his belt, and he was about to get a job making $55 an hour. He didn't do the greatest on he didn't do the best on the interview. Actually, he did.
He recorded the interview. He did okay.
Yeah,
he recorded it, and we went over it. That's what I'm telling you.
Yeah. Now the funny thing is, he got that job, and I crack on him all the time. I said, when you heard them saying that they start you off between 55, because that's between like 95 to 100K job you make. That'd be your first job coming out of Sub's class. I said that. I think that's where he got nervous. He was sweating the whole time.
I'm gonna play this. If I had to give a floor to average student, the floor would be $80,000 usually.
Facts.
80,000 is the floor on up to 120 is pretty much. That's what I always say. 80 to about 120. So it's funny he said $60, but it's just saying it's unlikely. That's actually. But let me say this though. I will say this. What I find about people that have an IT background, they think like that. They do. And I'm not talking about that person. I don't know who that was. Not trying to take a jab, but I'm just saying in general, people that are in IT that went to college, got their 4-year degree, did their internships, got a job making $50,000 in help desk, went out and got 3 or 4 certifications. Talk to them, they're gonna tell you something completely different. I didn't do that. That's not what I did. I went the other route. I came in at 35 years old with no experience, with a degree, with no internships, no resume, nothing. I had to go in that way, that route. So for me, it's different. And when I first started, one of my coworkers at a project I was working on was telling me this won't work. He's like, man, people that are supposed to be in IT, they don't have the if they don't have the critical thinking skills to get in, they probably would have already been in. This is not going to work. And guess what? For him, in the way they think, and from people that come from a college or university system, they think like that because colleges want you to think like that. Oh, it's going to take you years to learn this and learn. No, it doesn't. It takes sitting and studying and going and doing the things that employers are looking for. And we got testimonials to back everything I'm saying.
And we gotta go to Dirty Folks. We've been waiting for a minute. Go ahead, Dirty Folks. You got the floor. You got the mic.
To topic, and I understand what Sub-Zero is saying. I've actually listened to his show and I don't disagree with anything he says. But the thing I want to piggyback off that he said, I'm not talking about the IT part. I want to talk about the mindset part. If we want to seriously talk about is why Black men are stuck in place, it's because the mindset of osmosis, right? So if you can do something, I can do it too. And if it doesn't work for me, it should not work for you. And I'm not even talking crab in a bucket. I'm talking about by association. What he's saying is what everybody said is true, right? So one person may apply for IT, if that's the topic we're using, and get 32 a year, right? Another person will come in and get 85 a year. But that's in every profession. I remember having jobs where I got paid more than the person that was training me to do the job because of what they saw in me, right? Because qualification doesn't dictate your rise in any particular profession. Um, but a lot of it's just having the balls to do it, just having the courage to go out there and try to do something that nobody's ever done that you know, and be able to use associated things that work in order to magnify your process. So, but yeah, I'm here, man. I'm just checking out, you know what I'm saying, what they talking about. But like I said, I don't disagree with anything. I think it turned to an IT conversation. But well, I will say this though.
Oh no, that was the plan. That was the plan. IT was baked into the cake.
No, I got you. But I will
Yeah.
say this though, even with that conversation, him having a group of dot dot dot, right? Him training dot dot dot. It doesn't matter. The subject is arbitrary. There's only going to be a select group of anybody with the balls to do it. Everybody's not going to want to be an IT. Everybody's not going to want to be a publisher. Everybody's not going to want to be a basketball player. But the people who want it, who are hungry for it, they'll surround themselves with the people that get them there. The problem isn't, to me personally, the problem with the whole black discussion, if you want to call it that, isn't the entry level part. It's the nepotism part. It's the network part.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah. Was that it? Were you done? I didn't know if you stopped on it.
Yeah, I'm gonna let him rock.
Okay. Okay, yeah. I wasn't sure if you had finished saying what you were saying, if you had went
I'm
out.
just saying, because I'm listening to him talk about training people to send them XYZ, and a lot of that is networking and you know, relationships that you've already had with these people. Say, yo, I'm gonna send my people out there to rock with you. You know, it's the nepotism and the networking that guys have a problem with. But you know, the skills are there.
Yeah, black men, we gotta practice. We gotta build our own old boys network with nepotism baked into the cake of that. Like, hell, that's where I'm at with it. That's where I'm at with it. But shout out to everybody in the building. What Salty Ball said. I'm looking that UI path. Okay, that was a company. That was a company that he was mentioning. I wasn't even 100% sure. I be having to look stuff up after Salty Balls send a super chat, but now I get what you're saying. Yeah, Freeman's Journal is more or less saying what I think he's saying what I was saying. He said you have to build your own network. My first IT job came from a recommendation from a fellow Marine. Yeah.
Let me say this. None of my jobs came from from that. None of them did. So it's different. I mean, everybody has a different experience, but most of my jobs, all of them, I haven't had a lot of them, but my jobs came from going on a website, filling out an application, and they called me. Because of my resume, because of my background and experience and the way I interviewed, I got the job. That's pretty much the story for 90% of the students that have got jobs. Black people don't have the connections, but I think if we're going to build that network that these brothers are mentioning, then we're going to have to get people in those positions. And then when you get them, one of the funny things that you find about specifically black people that are in IT, they're not going to look out for you. They're going to come in there. Just being straight up. When I've been on interviews and people walk in, I was on an interview one time, I was killing it. Everybody was laughing. They were loving me. Man, this brother came in there, man, nerdy little dude with some glasses. I spoke, smiled. Hey, how you doing? Tried the little charm thing. He didn't even smile back. Hey, man, how you doing? Sat down, started drilling me. Do this, do that. Show me this, show me that. I'm on the board and I'm handling it, right? Then he asked me some question, wanted me to memorize. I'm like, come on, bro. Like, I ain't got that off the top of my head. But he asked me. And he knew it, but I didn't. And I didn't get the job. And I was like, damn, man. I'm sure when I left that interview, he shot me down. The brother, and I've seen that. And so black people in IT, I have a saying sometimes, I don't get along with black people in IT because I'm not that type. You know what I'm saying? We just don't get along. So it just, everybody's different. I think that brother came in there, and there's been a couple of times where I've seen black people and they come. If you're not perfect, if you come in there and you show that you know 85% of it, but this other guy knows 90, but he's Indian, they'll get him. And I'm like, dang, bro, me, I'm the type of guy, I'm gonna try to get a brother a job. That's me. I'm that guy, but that's why I got lifting the veil. But a lot of people in IT don't do that. They don't have that heart for other brothers. They don't care. They just like, you got to do it. Just I went through it, so you got to. Well, yeah, you went through it. You got an internship. You were blessed. But this guy, he's come 85, 90% of the way. You're that last 10%. You can be the difference, and you choose not. And that just takes, certain people having a certain mindset. Everybody doesn't have as they call race-based consciousness to see another black. If I see Azrael walk in there, I'm gonna try my best to get him the job. Now, if he don't know, if I feel like he's not competent, that's different. But if he's competent, the other guy's competent, I'm choosing Azrael every time because I'm a black man, and that's just how I am. That's how Indians do. You go in the IT department, an Indian get a job, come back in 3 years, that whole damn department gonna be Indian. And my whole team at my job right now is Indian. When I first got there, it wasn't like that. That whole team is Indian. I'm the only, me and my manager, the former manager, because he stepped away. We're the only two Americans in there. Everybody else is Indian. They can't, when we had a Christmas party, the whole everybody's Indian now. It used to be when I first got there 3 years ago, that company that I work with, it was half white, few black people from here. Man, these people come in and they look out. Asians do the same thing. Half a Delta when you go in there in their IT department, it's nothing but Asians, bro. They looking at it. It's not that black people don't have these skills. We got them, but these people get in and they do have a race-based consciousness. We don't. But look, I got to get ready for class.
Oh yeah.
It's been a blessing, man. I really enjoyed this, guys. If you wanted to talk to me, my phone number is 678-627-2796. Give me a call. I'll be glad to give you a free consultation. We can talk. Just give me a holler, man. And Azrael and Dirty Folks, I thank y'all for coming up. And as usual, bro, I appreciate you, Bernard, bro.
Anytime,
I really appreciate
it. Anytime. And all of the contact information for Sub-Zero, it'll be in the description of the video, and it'll be pinned to the top of the first comment. So y'all will be able to find the contact information. If you listen to this live or listen to it after it's uploaded, you should be able to find the information so you can contact Sub-Zero if you're interested in his classes. But with that said, ladies and gentlemen, shout out to Hoop Jargon, says crazy. It's only 70 listeners. Shout
out to Hoop. What's up, Hoop?
What up, Hoop? What up, Hoop?
Hey, tell him if LeBron lose, we definitely can go live in. I'm gonna have some fun with that one. I can't wait. I hope Denver.
Man, I ain't with you on that one, man. I'm rooting for the King. Rooting for the King. But anyway, you LeBron haters, I never understand. But anyway,
I'm a hater. I admit it. I can't stand it.
You and Sir Tice. Sir Tice don't even mention LeBron by his name. He called him a basketball player from Akron. He called him. You won't even say his name. I don't know what's up with y'all. But all right, that's a whole nother topic. But all right, thank you everybody for coming on through. Everybody for being in the building. Appreciate each and every one of you. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, we out of here. Peace.
All right, Bernard.
We go.